All right, boys and girls, let's talk a little bit about power, gain, settings. People talk about using an oscilloscope, using voltmeter, set your gains. I'm an old guy. And call it BS or not, I've always had an ear for music and other things, for that matter. But nevertheless, I set everything by ear. Everything. And I have a playlist. As you all know, I've been testing a bunch of stuff. 100 videos or whatever. 200, 300, whatever it is. But I have a list. When I'm going to test the subwoofer, whether it's sealed or ported, doesn't matter what box it's in, I go through a list of songs. Why do you have those songs? Why do you have this list? What does it do for you? And this particular list, I have 2 or 3 other lists too when I do an extended test. I'm looking for different styles of bass, different bass notes, high, low, deep, mid, anywhere from, around 30, which, some of the lower stuff. Here's one that I use, Evanescence. The beginning of that song, the thunder in it, how well does it play that thunder? Rush, Tom Sawyer. The various kick drum and bass guitar, Cardi B press, how clear is the depth of that? Gladys Knight, that's a higher bass note, a weaker bass note, how well does it pick it up? Ariana, Side to Side, that's a muddy bass. It's already a muddy bass to start with in the recording. So how bad is it, or how good is it? What does the sub clean it up? How accurate does it play it? Kiara, Miss Me. That will shake the car apart in parts of that song. Sweet as Taboo. That's some high and low bass notes with a little distortion in the recording. So I'm looking for how accurate it is. How loud can I get before it's not clean? Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's got a nice bass guitar note and kick drum. Old stuff, Wild Cherry, Low Rider, newer stuff. Again, Ariana, she's got a lot of songs that got good bass in it, and it's typically muddy, distorted. How bad is it distorted? How clean does it play it? So, that's the type of things I'm looking for. I always start off with Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. And I'll reach right into here and hit that bass knob. Start from 0. I'll start somewhere around, where is it? One minute or so in the song where the bass starts coming in. And generally, when I dial that in, where it's clean, as loud as I can go, and I'll set my... it's not, hang on a minute. All right, that's about where I set it. Was, right above the N in economy. I can hear where the distortion starts picking up in the mids and highs. So I stop right there. That's as loud as I can go. It's the speakers are not, the tweets and the mids are not on a amp. They're on the factory head unit. So that's as high as it goes before I hear distortion. So I keep it there or less. Then I'll go and dial up the knob on the amp, and in reference, it's the TXP1 6000 Soundstream full bridge 2000 RMS amp. I'll set that, and the clip light never trickles. I'm not getting to the clip light before I get to distortion. So I hear it, and that's it. That's where I stop. Now I can, and generally in all these videos, I turn it up a little past that. I get into distortion. Why? Because, to make the chain move and see, various different subs, you can't really hear it. You know, and that's why when I record the music portion of it, I stand outside the door to try to give as close as I can to an accurate. If you've got a system with the sub and whatever and it's set up right, you may be able to hear very close to accurate to what you're hearing inside the car. So that's all these tests, whether it's the 8s, the 6s, the 10s, the 12s, the 15s, the sealed, the ported, doesn't matter. That's what I'm looking for, because the average guy, you know, low budget guy that's going to go into the store and buy something, or get on our group, Bassheads on a Low Budget, and look for advice on what to buy, he's looking for enhancement of bass. Most of them. There's nothing against the guys that want to break windshields. That's great. And that's a whole different can of worms. When you're talking maximum levels, competition, that's where you're getting into, you need the scope. You need the voltmeter. You need to really nail this down. Precision, because every, not even a tenth, every 20/100th of voltage can matter. One little spike, you might go a little bit into clipping because you're trying to break a number on, which I've got one of those and I haven't used it yet. And it's probably going to be pathetic when the SPL lab. It's just that, like I said, the average Joe wants enhanced bass. And when you hear it and it sounds clean, it gives you goosebumps. I mean, it's crazy. And there's various different songs. You hear that, and that bass is just so exquisite, rich. I can't even describe it. So that's where I'm at. So that's, so you know, get an idea of this. And this is moving from the past to present to forward. And you know, here I'm not quite done yet. I'm doing the 12s right now. Sealed 125. With the exception of the Rockford, because the bolt pattern on that thing was crazy big, and if I drilled it into my existing sealed box, then I'm going to have air holes for everything else. So I had a separate sealed box that was a little smaller, 1 cubic foot instead of 125. But you know, Rockford calls for that. So the last test I did was with that. But what am I doing here? I'm going through the sealed SPL, loudness, precision, versatility. SPL, PREC, VERS. And I'm basically, you know, going down every sub and rating it. You know, okay, I'm winging it, but it's to my ear, it's to my taste. It may not be the same to you. I'm just telling you, know, trust me, if it's in, and of course it's going to change. This is in a hatchback. This is in a wagon hatchback. You know, volume levels, sound levels, if you're in a trunk, it's going to be muted compared to out in the open like it is here. But, you know, I'm pretty picky. So it's going to be, it's going to have to sound good. It's going to have to sound precise. I'm getting ready to test the Alpine right now. And, you know, I will probably put this video up later after I've done the ported for the, because I'm going to pick out, you see the little stars. What I'm doing is going through 4, 5, 6 or so of the best sounding whatever that is, like 25, 12-inch subs. And out of those 25, the ones that sounded the best, you know, it's a mixture of loudness, precision, versatility. How loud did it get to where it was not precise anymore? Could it get loud? Like, for example, look at the Sound Town and the Stereo Integrity. Both of those will, you know, pound the crap out of it, but they lose all precision. Not all of it, you know, a lot of it. If you turn it down enough to get it precise, it wasn't as loud as the other, and that's where they lose. And then the versatility is the different bass notes. I mean, for gosh sakes, you're in a sealed box. It should cover pretty much, you know, what, 30 to 60 pretty easily, but they don't. And that's one of the main reasons of testing so many subs, because they now some of them are very similar, but a lot of them are very different. You know, so like, all right, Machete Fight S, you lose a little loudness in comparison. It won't get as loud as these other two, but it's a lot more precise and very versatile in the bass notes it'll cover. It's like that, you know, not to single that out, but you know, Pioneer 899, because that was extremely precise, extremely versatile, but it couldn't handle that much power. So where you go up to the distortion and back off of it a little bit, it was not as loud as some of the others. And on and on and on. So that's it. That's the idea of what's going on with the testing. Not the same, not similar, not like the other guys do. What I'm doing is more geared for the everyday average Joe that wants to buy a sub, a pair of subs or whatever, get it in his car and have it sound great on music. That's what I'm after, at a cheap price. That's it. Have a good day. See y'all later.